It's November 8, 2020. I'm Todd Dunn, and today I am going to do a little demonstration based on a viewer request. So what am I going to talk about? Let me get behind the camera and show you. This is my Fisher HT Snowplow that I put on my Dodge Ram 1500 to plow snow off my driveway and off the one-lane gravel road that I live on. So why am I going to talk about this? Everybody's seen one of these plows put on a vehicle before, but what I want to talk about today is what happens over the course of the summer when you don't use the plow. You know, not much snow to plow in August. And in fact, this plow has been sitting since early April. It is now November, so it's been there for 7 months without being used. And a couple of things have happened. Let me show you what they are. Okay, here we go. Now, what's happened over the course of the 7 months that the plow has been sitting here? First off, when I put the plow here last April, the ground, this gravel that it's sitting on, was frozen. And because I am no longer using the jack on this plow because it is too high for the mount on my 2019 Dodge Ram 1500 Classic, I just use blocks of wood underneath the plow frame to hold it up to the correct height. But as I said, the ground was frozen when I put it there, but it's not frozen now. It hasn't been frozen for at least 6 months. And over the summer, even though I used a block of wood, it has gradually sunk into the ground a little bit. So one of the things that I might have to do is raise up the center of the frame here. Now, if you are still using your jacks, if you didn't put pieces of plywood or something under them, they may have sunk into your gravel, and you would have to then raise the system up. Now, how can you do that? This plow is, with the cutting edge, is about 550 pounds. And although it is sitting with the blade on the ground, or in this case on some 2x6s that I put down, it's still fairly heavy. So, but if you take advantage of leverage, it's not that hard to move. So one of the things you can do is use a lever, in this case a piece of 2x4 that I have as scrap wood, put it under here and just lift it up. Now this is sinking into the ground, so I'm going to put another piece of 2x4 under there, a piece of wood under there, so that won't sink into the ground. And you can just lift it up, and when you get it up to the height you want it, slide an extra piece of wood under there, or put a piece of plywood under your jack, push your jack down. This is really easy to do if you have an assistant. If you don't have an assistant, it's a little harder. Okay, the next thing that tends to happen if your plow is a little bit older like mine, this plow is 9 years old, is that this is the main cylinder that raises and lowers the plow. When I put the plow here, that cylinder was partially extended. But over the course of 7 months, there's been very slow hydraulic oil bleed by through the check valves, and the cylinder has gradually collapsed. And when that happens, this part of the frame tilts forward toward the blade, and back here raises up. And right now, the height here is too much to fit onto the mounting brackets on the truck, which are about 7 inches off the ground. And now here, that's 11 inches. So what I've got to do is tilt this toward me to bring that down so it's level. And right now, I could walk around here and just push on it here, nothing's going to happen because those valves are closed. And although if I was able to push on it for several months, it would gradually go back up into position. But if I just want to get it up there quickly, it simply is not going to happen. So at this point, we have to attach the plow to the truck. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what the next step is. Okay, I've got it lined up. So what I need to do now is just take a look at things, and I can see that my height is actually pretty good. It's going to slide up. This is going to slide underneath here, but it's going to be high enough that it goes over the top of the lower part of the mounting bracket, which is where I want it to be. But and that's because the piece of wood I've got underneath there is big enough that it didn't settle very much. So I'll show you what happens when we hook the electrical system of the plow up to the electrical system of the truck. Okay, I'm lined up now, and as you can see right down here, I'm about 3/4 of an inch high. So that's okay, because when I tilt this frame toward the truck, that's going to drop. And I'd like it to be parallel to the mount. So I'm just going to hook the electrical up right here. Put it in. Very straightforward. I coated these with dielectric compound last fall, so everything should be good. Now, what do we want to do? Okay, now that I've got everything lined up, I'm going to turn the plow on, right there. Plow's on, and what I'm going to do is put it into float mode. On this one, you just push the down button until the float light comes on. And what that does is it allows me to move the head frame of the plow. It opens the check valves a little bit so hydraulic fluid can go past the valves and let me move that frame. So let's go back forward and move the frame. Okay, as I said, it's in float. So now I should be able, unless I'm too close, to push this up slowly. There. And at this point, that's all there is to it. But you can't, the point is, when the plow is in float, you can move the frame. When the plow is off or in a mode other than float, you can't move the frame. So what I'm going to do now is just drive the truck forward until everything is lined up. Okay, I've slid forward and everything is pretty much lined up. So all I have to do at this point, because I had the plow at the frame at the right height, so that when I tilted the frame toward the truck, the mounting bracket on the plow was parallel to the mounting bracket on the truck. Everything should be lined up, and I should be able to just close the pretty good. I can just push this up. That releases the two locking pins, and now I can just lock that up. That one on the side closest to you went in. There's the one on the other side. Plow is on the truck. And that's all there is to it. A little bit of work with a 2x4 as a lever to lift the plow, and then hook the plow up to the truck, put it in float mode so you can move the head frame, and connect her up. Very simple. And that's all it takes after the plow has been sitting for 7 months. Now if I want to use the plow, which since there's absolutely no snow on the ground, I don't want to use it. I would just lift the jacks up and be on my way. But since I don't want to use the plow today, I'm not, I can't really plow leaves, I'll disconnect it, which is also very simple. The plow is still in float. What I'm going to do is just tilt it a little, take that off, take that out. It's now disconnected. I can go turn it off and we'll disconnect the electrical connections and I'm free to back the truck away. Okay, the electrical is disconnected. Just take that off. Put the cap back on. Put this away. And I can back the truck up and we'll be ready for the next time I want to put the plow. So there we go. Everything is disconnected, and right now, because I just went through the procedure of getting everything lined up to connect the plow after it had been sitting all summer, now it is in the right position to connect it as soon as snow happens. And that main cylinder will gradually bleed down, but it's going to take a while, and I expect snow within about 2 weeks, so I really don't have to worry about it. It'll probably be very close to that position when I'm ready to hook the plow back up. So just a couple minutes, you can get your plow ready to go, and they're not really that hard to move around. You can grab either end of the plow if the alignment doesn't seem right, and with just lift it up and move it. It's not that heavy. These HT plows are pretty light. One thing I forgot to mention. Now, what I do to make sure everything is going to move easily is I spray all the moving parts, like the locking pins here and all the hinges and the slide, with a little bit of lanolin, which is a very good lubricant. It'll also prevent some rust. And so I just spritzed a little lanolin on everything before I put the plow on the truck. Made everything move easily and had no trouble. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you'll find out when my next exciting video is posted. Thanks again for watching.